A Rose for Emily, an analysis of William Faulkner's short story. Story A Rose for Emily reveals the power of men over women. The story follows Miss Emily Grierson's southern aristocrat, mysterious and eccentric woman through a certain period of her life in small town Jefferson at the beginning of the 1930s, where she had spent whole her life as a single woman. Emily's life was completely shaped by thoughts and acts of her father. The story begins with the end of Miss Emily's life. It continues with description of her long-term isolation and description of the house. Furthermore, writer reveals her refusal to change during time and pay taxes. In this short story, Emily's life is shown through the eyes of her neighbors. They didn't know much about her, so their judgment was based mainly on gossips, through Emily's refusal to let her neighbors' criticism affect her. She's highly regarded because of her family's history, although the Griersons held themselves in higher regard than they were worthy of. Miss Emily, as the main character, was presented like a woman who was isolated physically and emotionally for decades, isolated by her family, by community, by law and tradition. Servant Dope was the only person who had spent every day with her during decades, who devoted his whole life to the care of her, feeling loyalty and obligation to her. People saw her as a fallen monument in town, and with the rose they showed a tribute to her. Alive, Miss Emily had been a tradition, a duty, and a care, a sort of hereditary obligation upon the town. Emily is described here as an object, a thing passed on from generation to generation. Greater part of her life she had spent with her father, a selfish man who didn't want her to leave home. Therefore, he drove away suitors from her. Emily was left penniless when her father died, with a large old house into which the neighbors have never been invited. Her house, once an elegant mansion, has become a decaying eyesore in the middle of a neighborhood that has changed from residential to industrial. Many years later, the house is seen as an eyesore among eyesores. Miss Emily Grierson is a peculiar character withdrawn from society. Once she had been a splendid figure in white, and later she looks bloated like a body along submerged in motionless water, her eyes lost in the fat ridges of her face. She avoided to believe the time was changing and didn't join the new society. This unworried woman did not even come out and was confusing past and present. It is shown also through her rejection to pay taxes. Colonel Sartorius invented an involved tale to the effect that Miss Emily's father had loaned money to the town, which the town, as a matter of business, preferred this way of repaying. Only a man of Colonel Sartorius' generation and thought could have invented it, and only a woman could have believed it. When people are desperate, they will believe in many things, as long as these things put in just the right way. So the vanquished deputation in what she feels is reality. See Colonel Sartorius. I have no taxes in Jefferson. Although Miss Emily couldn't bring back the dead colonel, she could make her version of the reality, so she never paid taxes in Jefferson. Maybe not remitting her taxes could push her towards being an ordinary member in the community, but till the end, it didn't happen.